All right, if you're a data analyst, you know this feeling, right? You're trying to answer these huge, important questions, but you're stuck wrestling with these tiny, messy data extracts in Excel. Well, today, we're going to talk about how Databricks is totally changing that game and how it can take you from data chaos to real career clarity.
So it really all kicks off with this one fundamental problem. See, for a long time, the answer to handling more data was pretty simple. Just get a bigger, faster computer. But then, the amount of data companies started collecting just exploded. And that whole approach just slammed into a wall. A single machine, I don't care how powerful it is, eventually just can't keep up. It slows down, it breaks, and it absolutely cannot scale as fast as the data is growing.
And this really brings us to the first chapter in our story, the huge technical challenge. How in the world do you process a literal mountain of data when one computer just isn't going to cut it anymore? Well, the first big breakthrough was to stop trying to build one giant machine and instead link up a whole bunch of smaller computers to work together. This big idea led to Hadoop maybe 20 years ago now, and it was brilliant, really. You could split your data and the work across this whole fleet of machines. But it was slow, so slow, because it was constantly writing to physical hard drives. Then along came Spark. Spark took that same distributed idea but did all the work in memory, in the computer's RAM, which made things ridiculously faster.
But, even with the incredible speed of Spark, there was this massive hidden cost. Actually setting up and managing this whole network of computers, it was unbelievably complex. Your data engineers were spending all their time just being system administrators, messing with servers and networks, instead of doing what they were hired to do. The tech was amazing, for sure, but managing it was an absolute nightmare.
And this technical headache didn't just stay with the engineers. Oh no, it created a second and, honestly, even bigger problem. Just total and utter chaos across the entire company.
Think about any big company. You've probably got dozens of different data projects going on at once. The marketing team's using an Oracle database over here. Finance is using SQL Server over there. And every single project has its own security rules, its own pipelines, and this is the big one, its own separate copy of the company's data. So what's the result? No single source of truth anywhere. Conflicting numbers in every meeting. It's a huge, expensive, and insecure mess. It was, and I'm quoting here, a total nightmare. Okay, so this is where Databricks walks into the story. And it's no coincidence that it was founded by the very same people who created Spark. Their goal was to solve both of these problems at the same time: the crazy technical complexity and the organizational chaos. And the change it's just profound. Instead of a dozen different tools, you get one unified platform. Instead of countless copies of data scattered all over the place, you get one central data layer. And instead of all those conflicting security rules, all your governance happens in one place, the Unity catalog. And just like that, engineers, analysts, business users, everyone can finally work together on the exact same data. Now, the big idea that makes all this possible is something called the Data Lakehouse. It's pretty simple, actually. It combines the best parts of a traditional data warehouse, which is awesome for structured, business-ready data, with the flexibility of a data lake, which can just hold tons of raw data of any kind. Basically, you get the structure and reliability of a warehouse with the massive scale of a lake. Best of both worlds. So, okay, that's the big picture. But let's bring it back to you. What does all this actually mean for you, the data analyst? How does your day-to-day work change in this new, orderly world? This is where it gets really good. Databricks uses this really simple, logical flow called the medallion architecture. Just think of it like a data refinery. So for example, all the raw, messy web server logs get dumped into the bronze layer. Then the data engineers work their magic and clean that up into nice, structured user sessions in the silver layer. And finally, they aggregate all that into a gold layer with the key business metrics you actually care about, like daily active users. And here's the best part. By the time you, the analyst, even see the data, it's already in that beautiful gold layer. All the heavy lifting, the cleaning, the structuring, all that prep work, it's done. You get to start your work with a reliable, single source of truth, without ever having to second guess if you've got the right numbers. And you might be asking, how do I find and trust this data? Well, that's what the Unity catalog is for. It's really the brain of the whole platform. It organizes everything. It lets you see who can access what, where the data came from, everything. It's the governance engine that finally puts an end to all that chaos.
So when you put it all together, The unified platform, that clean gold data, the trustworthy Unity catalog, your role as an analyst, it just fundamentally changes. You're not just a report builder anymore. You become a true data explorer.
And this is the real game changer. The old limits are just gone. You're not pulling a few thousand rows into Excel anymore and hoping it doesn't crash. You now have direct access to query and analyze the entire company's data, no matter how ridiculously huge it is, right from your web browser. And you know what's so amazing about this? You get to tap into all of this incredible power using the one skill you've already mastered, SQL. It's right there in the quote. A simple SQL query now lets you use the entire technology stack. You're not working with some little copy anymore. You are working directly in the data lakehouse with all of that power right at your fingertips.
So what does your new workflow look like? Well, it's pretty awesome. Step 1. You use the SQL editor right inside Databricks to explore these massive datasets and hunt for insights. Step 2. You can spin up quick draft dashboards right there on the platform to test out your ideas with stakeholders. And then, once everyone's on board with the story, you just connect your favorite tool like Power BI to that beautiful gold layer to build the final, polished reports for the whole company.
Look, at the end of the day, Databricks gets the data ready. It tames the chaos, it unifies the platform, and it puts unbelievable power in your hands with a simple SQL query. It transforms your role from a data wrangler into a strategic explorer. The data is finally ready for your biggest, boldest questions. The only question left is, are you?
All right, if you're a data analyst, you know this feeling, right? You're trying to answer these huge